Hey guys, Teach Stouffer, Fish Schtick and a viral video short brought to you by Fish Hound and our friends at Boston. This guy over my shoulder right here, Bruce Condello, the guy. You've heard the Fish Schtick full episode with him before, the big bluegill guy. Let's see what he's got for us today.
Okay, we are fishing a private impoundment in eastern Nebraska, and the bite's a little slow today, but what we're looking for is some bigger largemouth bass. We picked up a couple here and there using live bait. We also tried to catch some big bluegill earlier, and there was nothing going. But right now I've got a live bluegill on a bobber, and I'm just slowly pulling it across a shelf, and I'm going to see if a bass will pick it up. Got my aquaculture license about 12 years ago, and one of the things that I decided to do early on was to do some selective breeding of bluegill. I would have done it with any fish, except bluegill kind of lent themselves to that because you can get a new year class every year. So each year we would take the fastest growing bluegill, and then we would take the 99% slowest growers and we'd get rid of them. We'd sell them, we would move them to other ponds, take the best ones, use those as brood stock, and get those to reproduce. And after about 9 generations, we've got some fish that'll grow to be a pound in about 2 years.
You've gotten to fish a few times at a very special place down in the Carolinas. Talk about that and talk about your big fish this year.
I fished at Richmond Mill in North Carolina, and this bluegill is about 3 ounces, but there we were fishing for bluegill that went up to 3 pounds. And I had the good fortune to spend an entire day just targeting big bluegill, and I got 2 of them, one that was 3 pounds 0 and the other was 3 pounds 1 ounce. 1 ounce.
How'd you catch them?
Believe it or not, we were using crankbaits, and we're using a Lucky Craft pointer, the smallest size, in a silver pattern, and we would just simply take that and work over points where the bluegill were bedding, and we throw it over the beds and just twitch it a couple times and try to agitate those big territorial males. There's a perception out there that big fish are old fish. Well, we know from an aquaculture exercise that we've done here that that's not always the case. These fish are the same age. I'll show you 2 fish, both of them 14, 15 months old, so you can see the difference that genetics can play. Okay? Fish right here, obviously fantastic body condition. This one, not so much. Those fish are the same age. The way that you can use this lesson to help yourself when it comes to making catch and release decisions is learn to identify the fish that are the absolute best condition for their year class. Those are your fish with the trophy potential. So those are the fish that you'd like to release. And that doesn't mean you have to keep these, but a lot of times there's something in between that's the most appropriate fish to take home for the frying pan.
So if people are amped on catching big bluegill, people love big bluegill, you've got a website, and you should tell us all about this awesome website where people who love big bluegill can go learn about big bluegill.
If you're into big bluegill, one of the things you should do is get on bigbluegill.com. On bigbluegill.com, we promote selective harvest of bluegill. We completely accept the fact and embrace the fact that bluegill are part of the harvestable fish community. We like people to be able to harvest and keep bluegill, but we also know that if you're thoughtful about the way you do it, that you can end up with a lot better chance of catching a 1 pound or a 1.5 pound bluegill. Bigbluegill.com has a forum. You can get on the website and talk to other bluegill fishermen about what you're catching them on, where you're catching them, how big they are. There's also a real nice bragging board where you can get on, post pictures of yourself with big bluegill. Besides that, there's also links to other good educational sites, especially sites like Recycled Fish, sites that really work to promote the long-term enjoyment of a fishery like this. So many people look at just what's happening today. What can I do now to please myself? What can I do now to bring fish home on the stringer? But if people would just look forward 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, and we could make things like this last longer, and many more people could enjoy it, and in the long run that's going to be better for fishing.
All right, for more from the Fish Schtick, thefishschtick.com. The Fish Schtick is always brought to you by our friends at Fish Hound. You know, fishhound.com tells you where to go, when to go, and what to throw, so you'll catch more and bigger fish. Plus, it's free, fishhound.com. And our friends at Boss Tin, makers of environmentally friendly fishing weights, both for fly fishing and conventional tackle fishing. They're online at bosstin.com. Till next time, good cheer, blessings, and great adventures.